Welcome back to the Biddy Beer Bro Show. In our last video, we delved into a fair few console exclusive games that failed to make the cut regarding backwards compatibility. But we ain't ruddy done yet, so here we are with even more 360 non-backwards compatible exclusive games to keep an eye out for.
The escape to the ground. The battle for survival begins now.
Long before the days of the Xbox 360, Bomberman's simple and cute design as well as his early titles' addictive gameplay combined to cement the character as an iconic gaming mascot. But in 2006, your average ruddy Xbox 360 player wasn't interested in the cute and the cuddly. So what do? Well, you fecking edge up the character in his world well over 9,000 of ruddy cores.
What the hell is even that?
This obviously pissed off any fans of the classic series, however if the gameplay remained tight, I don't think anyone would have minded. But somehow the ever so clever decision to rebrand the beloved character also seemingly stripped out all of the charm, life, and soul, but most importantly any ruddy fun that this series was known for, and just left us with Bomberman Act 0. I mean, they really tried to make Bomberman appeal to, well, I'm really not fecking sure who. A new generation, I guess. But you gotta say, edging him up to the fecking extreme and making him some sort of too cool for ruddy school robot thingamajig and then tossing the now unrecognizable character into 99 ugly, lifeless stages with some of the most bland and boring gameplay to grace the console was just not the ruddy way to do it.
Not a great plan.
Yeah, it is exclusive, yeah, it is a crucial part of Bomberman's history, but the game is honestly truly insufferable. Surprisingly though, while this game once littered every ruddy bargain bin out there, it has now exploded in price and is actually quite hard to get a hold of. So if you're a collector, I'd grab it before it's too late, but if you're not, then trust me, you're better off blowing your money on another game in this list. Just make sure it's not Tetris Evolution. Yeah, again, it is exclusive, but just like Act 0, it's a pretty fecking horrible addition to a classic franchise that does ruddy little to evolve the core gameplay loop into anything worth your time.
Talking away. I don't know what I'm to say, I'll say it anyway.
I've never really ruddy understood the love of karaoke, which is likely due to my enjoyment of a fair few parties as well as my time in my local boozer being ruined by some knobhead butchering the vocals to my favourite tunes. But me being a party pooper aside, if you do like screaming into a mic for hours on fecking end, well, then the 360 exclusive lip games will likely serenade and tickle that old pickle of yours. There is a bunch of them, they ain't too pricey, and yeah, that's it. Moving on.
Having another humdrum, ho-hum snooze fest all by your lonesome will go from mind-numbing boredom to mind-blowing excitement.
So, karaoke ain't my bag. But what is? Well, getting quizzy with it at a party with Seen It is a bit more of my cup of tea. So, as a result, I do highly recommend the free physical titles available in the Seen It series, especially if you're a bit of a fecking cinephile like me, as the robust selection of questions, alterations to the trivia, slick style, humor, and easy to use interface will have gamers and non-gamers playing for ruddy hours. Also, it's easy gamer score, if you're into that kind of thing. Oh yeah. There are some one-handed attachment thingamajigs you can pick up to streamline the experience for anyone who can't figure out how to use an Xbox 360 controller. But if you can use a controller, well, then they're not necessary. Oh yeah. There's also some exclusive dancing games too, like the Dance Central trilogy, which obviously has you dancing, shaking your fecking booty, and looking like a right knobhead while doing so. Again, not my cup of tea, but if it's yours, well, who am I to judge?
Across the world, it's the moment you've all been waiting for.
Once you've belted out some tunes, busted some questionable shapes, and proved you're the fecking king of movie knowledge, you may be looking for a party game that has some actual ruddy gameplay involved. That's when you can whip out Fusion Frenzy 2. It ain't no fecking Mario Party, but it's the closest you're gonna get to Mario-esque minigame partying antics on the sexy beast that is the 360. Yet with that said, it does pale in comparison to the original, and yeah, there are better party games out there, but Fusion Frenzy is only gonna set you back £1, so why the feck not? If you do enjoy mixing your booze with a dash of the 360, well then check out my video on how to do it right. Yeah, shameless plug, I know. Feck off. Jiggle physics are indeed the actual fecking tits. I mean, they are actually applied to fecking tits. But while the modern gaming world seems to frown upon attractive females and also seem to forget that their body parts move, long live Stellar Blade, am I right? Back in the days of the 360, polygon perversion was at an all-time high. But as Rumble Rose's XX did get the ruddy backwards compatible treatment, you better jiggle your way over to Dead or Alive Extreme 2 instead, as it may have the I mean best, sports sim gameplay shenanigans on the console. Obviously I'm ruddy joking, because as much as this game would like you to believe it is the tits by showing you lots of tits, it is in fact just odd, which is largely down to its weird mix of butt-bumping minigames, physics involving one's jugs that defy the laws of gravity and unlockable thongs, etc, etc. Yeah, so this ain't a game that you can play in front of the missus or even your parents, but it is still a lot cheaper than a special dance at one of those clubs that you obviously don't visit, as well as being exclusive to the console, so I won't judge you if this one finds more time than it should in the old disc tray.
History's in trouble. Are you ready to save it?
Bad ruddy graphics, fecking awful AI, no clear indication of what to do or where to go is somehow trumped by just being so fecking insane in concept, story and mechanics that Darkest of Days is still a very ruddy, guilty, first-person shooting pleasure of mine, even to this day. You see, while Darkest of Days may be one ruddy hell of an unpolished experience, its ridiculous story of not messing and altering the course of history by taking modern-day weaponry and turning the tide of some of our most infamous battles of our rich blood-soaked history is just too absurdly fecking ridiculously good not to enjoy, bugs and all.
Yes.
I mean, come on, you can get a ruddy cheevo for decking a horse like a salty football fan, proper British-like. Slapping horses aside, truthfully though, Darkest of Days is a bit like Marmite, so you're either gonna love it or you're gonna fecking hate it. But if you do like the sound of all that previous jazz I just spouted, well then this one's likely to manipulate that old pickle of yours. However, due to it being region exclusive, you may have to shell out a bit to enjoy this one, especially if you're from the UK like me. God damn it.
The 27th century. It's been almost 500 years since humanity left the solar system in search of new worlds.
One hella ruddy underrated game for the 360 that you should barrel roll yourself over to is Project Sylphid, a hyper-fecking intense spaceship themed shenanigan based shooter infused with an almost Gundam-esque like story that honestly is the Death Star shaped tits. But be warned, the game doesn't hold your fecking hands in the ruddy slightest, and you'll have to master the controls as well as learn how to best equip your flying machine of death to get the fullest out of this title. And yeah, look, it does sound a bit daunting, but honestly, it's kinda all part of Project Sylphid's charm. So if you're a fan of Lilith Wars or the Ace Combat games and love yourself a bit of melodramatic anime nonsense, then this one should set a taser to stun and tickle that pickle of yours. Even better, it ain't too costly either.
Ancient prophecies clash, ancient enemies come face to face, and you are caught in the middle.
Remember when you was a kid and you'd ask your ruddy mum for something and they would say something along the lines of, "No, we've got it at home." But you know what's at home is like a mere cheap imitation of what you fecking wanted? Well, asking for Elder Scrolls Oblivion or Skyrim and getting Dark Messiah of Might and Magic elements is kinda the equivalent of that.
You say, "Ma, I want to stop and get some McDonald's." She go, "I got hamburger meat at home."
Yeah, sure, the game's title may sound like it was made up by the owners of Paddy's Pub,
Whiskey Beer Islands of Green and Fight.
But even with that being said, story aside, Might and Magic is one fecking fine action RPG that sound design, impressive physics engine and extremely detailed graphics still kinda hold up to this ruddy day. And look, it is far from fecking perfect, as some odd design choices do hamper the overall experience. But if you're on your 2789th playthrough of Skyrim and are questioning your life choices, well then maybe take a breather from all the arrows to the knees and magical screaming powers and just play around with Might and Magic's gleefully over the top physics engine instead. Unfortunately though, the game's genuinely fun multiplayer is dead and buried these days, but the game is still hella cheap to grab and has more than enough solo content to justify dropping £2.50 on this one.
Hey, come on over, have some fun with Crazy Taxi!
Right, let's talk compilations. If you really have to get all the 360 Ruddy has to offer, then keep an eye out for Dreamcast Collection, Konami Classics Volume 1 and 2, and Raiden Fighters Aces. These titles are pretty fecking expensive now, but as you can play the games bundled on the disc elsewhere, I'd only seek these out if you have to have every lovely green case on your shelf.
I want you to work for me, Linux. Feel real power coursing through your veins. This power.
Sometimes you get games that just released at the wrong ruddy time on the wrong console, and that's exactly how I feel about Infernal, Hell's Vengeance, and Morph X. Two extremely unpolished and janky third-person shooters that if they had released a few years prior to the 360, I really don't think they would have received as much hate as they ruddy got upon their releases. But yet, with that being said, both games just like Bullet Witch fall under that niche category of so bad that they're good. And look, I'm not saying Inferno is the smoking tits, nor is Morph X the mighty morphing tits, but if you really turn your ruddy brain off and just enjoy the stupid B-movie narratives and retro 6th gen feeling gameplay for what they are, then there's still a lot of fun hidden under all the archaic game design that make both games well worth an inexpensive evening binge. But if you were going to pressure me to choose one over the other, I'd say Morph X edges out Infernal mainly due to it giving off some nostalgic vibes that reminded me of the Suffering games. While most of the ruddy world saw the 360 for the sexy beast it is and understood it was also the Spartan's armored shaped tits, when it came to Japan, however, the console was basically considered a failure and sold very fecking poorly. But even so, a few niche games got made exclusively for the console and only released in the land of the rising sun, so take that into consideration before buying any of these, as you may need a special Xbox to do so, and also having the ability to speak Japanese ain't gonna hurt you either. This really ain't gonna be easy peasy for me, but here we go. You have Mobile Suit Gundam Operation Troy, Every Party, Company 200X, Rebirth Moon Legend, Wrestle Kingdom, Apocalypse Desire Next, Cyberforce, Virtual On, Espiguda 2 Black Label, Idolmaster, Live for You, Love Football, and a lot fecking more. Look, just enjoy the fancy slideshow, as I don't think I'm gonna be able to say the names to the ruddy titles without bloody butchering them, so here you fecking go. There may be a few more, I'm not entirely ruddy sure, but from my minimal research, that's all you get.
I've called you all here on such short notice because we've been assigned an urgent mission.
What is it, sir?
We will be assisting with the assassination of Adolf Hitler.
Right, so from the weird to the even more weird. Yes, I do understand that Operation Darkness has a die-hard fan base, and I can kind of see why, as its alternative take on World War II history that sees Z German baddies being made up of vampires and zombies is a B-movie fan's wet fecking dream. But even so, the overall consensus, myself agreeing, is that this game is just a mixed fecking bag. And honestly, there are way better strategy-laced RPGs to sink your teeth into if you're a fan of the genre, like Valkyria Chronicles. But exclusive-wise, it is Operation Darkness, or maybe Zoid's Assault, another SRPG, but this time with robo-pet animal mech thingamajigs. But again, apparently it's a bit ruddy shit while lacking in any meaningful content, and I haven't played it, so I have no ruddy opinion on it.
But wait! There's more!
While I know you all love the ruddies, butts, fecking and tits I used to break down the games, I can't talk about the rest of these ones as I have even not played them, or they are really not my cup of tea. So here we fecking ruddy go, all the titting same. Magna Carta 2, Wartech, Naval Assault the Killing Tide, Automedeus Excellent, Spectral Force 3, Sneak King, Pocket Bike Racer, Big Bumping, MotoGP 06, Samurai Showdown Zen, Kengo Legend of the Nine, Race Pro, America's Army True Soldiers, Kingdom Under Fire, Circle of Doom, Onichibara Bikini Samurai Squad, A-Train HX, Aquazone Life Simulator, FIFA 06, Road to FIFA World Cup, Indianapolis 500 Evolution. And yeah, while I'm here and just listing shiz, instead of being a competent content creator, I'd be a ruddy fool not to point out that some games have their definitive HD edition only on the 360, like TMNT and X-Men 3. Oh yeah, apparently one of the best editions of Minecraft is the 360 edition, so there's that too. And remember, the true, original, best looking versions of the Arkham games are the ones you can find on a 360 disc. Yes, I know just listing them is kinda cheating, but time is of the essence, you fine folks. Some of the games I didn't fully cover may have their hardcore fans, but honestly there ain't nothing there that tickles my pickle enough to have a ruddy, drunken, fecking tit-wanking rant about them. So I apologise for my laziness or my sheer not give a toss feckery. If any of those games is worth me playing, holler down in the comments section below. In our next video covering the 360 store closer, we shall be going digital, but until then, you guys stay tipsy.